What was the name of the Viking who first found the West? The Vikings lived with the sea. It gave them fish, storms, and borders. But he didn't believe in borders. He looked at the ocean and whispered, "Show me what you're hiding." One day, he met a traveler returned from the edge of the world. The man whispered, "Beyond the sea, temples, gold, and not a single shield." Other Vikings laughed, but not him. He clenched his fists, as if he already held someone else's gold. He didn't want to discover new lands. He wanted the lands to discover his name. These thoughts gave him no peace. He slept in fragments, drank little, and spoke less. He wanted to build a ship, fast, not to sail, but to strike. He cut the wood himself, without songs, without gods. Every plank rang like the echo of a future enemy's shield. He was silent, but the wood listened. The ship wasn't built for sailing. It was built for invasion. He didn't call warriors. He promised no glory. He simply built. And they began to come. One, then another, 10, 30. They carried weapons and hunger. They didn't come for gold. They came for a place in legend. The Vikings believed that after death, a warrior feasted in Valhalla. But Ragnar wanted glory while still alive. And when there were enough of them, he whispered, "Time to wake the West." Storms struck. The sea roared. The ship creaked. Men died. But he stood at the prow as if commanding the waves. He wasn't a captain. He was a curse. He wasn't sailing on a ship. He was sailing on a sentence. They went where there were no maps, where names were erased by wind, where gods spoke foreign tongues. They didn't go to search. They went to leave a mark. And when the fog parted, he saw temples, prayers, and not a single sword. He didn't come to speak. He came to leave a mark. He entered Lindisfarne not as a man, but as a storm. Icons fell, altars cracked. He said nothing, and their God did not answer. But behind the smoke and prayers, something else awaited him, rooms overflowing with gold, as if greed itself had built those temples. He froze, not from fear, but from astonishment. If this was only a monastery, then what were their kings hiding? He didn't return as a hero. He returned as a storm. That left and came back with proof of its fury. The ship rode low, heavy with glory and gold. The shore filled with people, but no one dared to speak first. The warriors looked at him as one would look at a man who had spoken with death and returned alive. And from that day on, the Vikings were no longer fishermen. They no longer listened to the sea. They commanded it. They began to build new ships, not to sail, but to conquer. They no longer waited for the storm. They were the storm. And fear traveled across the waves before the sails ever arrived. The chronicles wrote, "From the north came people we had never known. They burned everything and vanished into the sea as if they were shadows." But their leader was not forgotten. His name was Ragnar Lodbrok, the Viking who first found the West.